Hello. We have done some more work on the water feature on our Polar Express traditional O gauge model train layout, and I'm going to take a quick peek at some of the things we've done. If we look at the water course here in the pond area, I've put in a number of boulders. Now, how these go in is fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Basically, you use Water Effects, which is a Woodland Scenics product. It's part of their water features line, along with Realistic Water and the water undercoat colors and some other things. But the Water Effects is used as the glue, as the adhesive to put the boulders, and in a few places I've also got some bits of wood laying on them. If you can look closely, you may see some along the edges and on the rocks, to adhere them to the bottom of the pond or wherever you want them to be situated. So the Water Effects comes out of the bottle as a white, milky looking glue, but it dries completely clear. So once it's in place, once you have the items glued down, the features glued down with that, they'll stay in place, and the adhesive will be invisible under the water once you pour the Realistic Water. We've got a few boulders there, as you can see in the middle of the scene, and then over here I've got a large boulder that'll be between the two bridges, and further along there's a couple of more boulders there. And then also I've got a few bits of deadfall, some snags and fallen logs, bits of wood that have been adhered to the edges, to the banks, and to the water feature. You can see another boulder there all the way over towards the end of the water feature. I really would be very interested in your comments as to whether or not you have included water features in your model train layouts, if you've built one or are building one, and what kind of water features you've included and what materials you've used in order to create those. Please, if you would, think about it. Drop in the comments below what you're doing with regard to water features. And also, while you're down there, please click that like bell, ring the bell, that thumbs up on the like. That will be a big boost for me as well. Another thing that we've done here is we have started to pour the Realistic Water. And if you will take a look there, you can see some of the water that has been poured between the bridges in that area there. And it continues on around a thin coat of water to just past that boulder, that last boulder that you see there in the just above the center of the picture. Unfortunately, that was all of the Realistic Water that I had on hand, so I've poured that much of it, and I've got more arriving this Friday. Assuming it arrives on Friday, I'll either pour it on Friday or on Saturday to do at least one layer all the way through. Now, it's a good idea when you're doing this not to pour too much at one time. I know it's kind of tempting to just kind of pour it all and get it done with, but it's best to pour maybe a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch at a time and let that fully cure, and then pour the next layer if you want to go deeper, or if you've got more water that you want to put down after it's cured up. And if you do it that way, it'll cure nice and clear. You can see this, I've started to pour in between the bridges, and it still looks a little kind of milky, a little bit of opacity in it. Once that has fully cured, that will be completely clear, and that will look much nicer. One of the other things that I've done with the layout is, if you look right in the center of the picture there is a rock wall, and between that rock wall and the next one, I'm going to try to get it up here so you can see it, there is a pool. That pool was also not sealed completely, and I had Realistic Water leaking out of there. I have taken some Flex paste and I have coated the interior of that pool with Flex paste now, and I did that just this morning. So as that cures up, or after that has cured up, probably by tomorrow, I'll be ready to paint it with the water undercoat paint, and then I'll be able to pour realistic water in there once I receive my next shipment and finish up the water feature, hopefully be able to finish up this water feature by this coming weekend. The undercoat, the water undercoat paints from Woodland Scenic, I know in the Woodland Scenic instructional videos and in the material that comes along with them, it says that they will seal the bottom of your water feature. My experience is that all by themselves they don't do that, and if you do Flex paste in addition to that, you'll have a much more complete seal. You'll have everything sealed. Do the Flex paste first, then do the water undercoat colors, and you will have a good seal that you can then pour realistic water on, or another product if you're using a different product for that purpose, and you will be able to complete that without having the water, realistic water, leak away on you. The realistic water is not, you know, ridiculously expensive, but it's not real cheap either. So losing a quart of it is a big expense to adding to your layout. So if you can avoid it, you don't want to do that. So that's where we are today. We've got the water feature. We started pouring, and I'm pouring in this area here down to about where that last boulder is in the middle of the stream bed there. And I've got about a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch in that area, deeper right here between the bridges and a little shallower out here. And I'll let that cure up, and I'll have, by the time my next shipment of realistic water comes, I'll be ready to pour the rest of it and complete the water feature. Whether I'll be able to do that all in one pour or I'll need multiple pours, it just kind of depends on how things work out, how level it is and how deep it is in different areas. So I'm thinking it probably would be a couple of pours to get it completed. And that's not bad. I mean, that's a good thing, because by doing that you get it cured thoroughly without having any lingering problems with it. And it does not shrink once it's in place. My experience is once it's in place, once it's cured up, it's not going to shrink on you. It'll stay where it's supposed to stay, and it'll look great. Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. As always, I invite you and encourage you to click the thumbs up below, the like button. That's a good boost for me. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, thank you. Subscribe, and also share any comments you might have. I really appreciate hearing comments and feedback from you. Thanks for watching.